Well, there's no point talking about another episode idea.
Oh no, you got to hushy that up for the moment.
That's a really good one. It got us talking, and it actually led to furthering medical science.
Well, that's how it normally. Oh, okay. Roswell.
No,
No.
but that came up in conversation.
Oh, I can imagine it would.
It was to do with a country that now no longer is legally allowed to have a military. If that gives up a little bit of information.
No, hang on. It's all right.
Well,
I'm just doing my
legally.
usual thing. There, we are definitely live. If anybody is watching, let's have a look. Now I've got to remember to turn.
Well, there's not many countries that have been told they're not allowed to have a military, even though they still kind of do.
That
Top
actually
chat.
sounds pretty wild.
It's the atrocities that they did that furthered medical science.
Yeah. I can't remember how to bring the chat up. I know we do it as a pop out. Hang on. Oh yeah, I got my head around it now. Hang on. Pop the chat out. Where are you? But ding.
So, Fernando, Google Unit 731.
Why does that ring a bell? All right, now you got me thinking.
Dude, it is a massive rabbit hole.
Yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking it is.
Don't say it out loud.
No.
It's not a rabbit hole. It's just people think that Hitler was bad. I'm not saying he was good.
All right. Is that Jeremy's microphone that's buzzing?
Hang on. Shouldn't be. My phone is over here.
Oh, whatever you did. Yeah, I think it's your phone.
Yeah, I've just moved it away. Hitler wasn't a great person, but what these people did was probably worse. But from the atrocities, we furthered our medical
Yeah.
standpoint.
Well, even Thanos thought he was doing something good. I actually still think he was.
Thanos.
Well, that's another thing you got to kind of think of. It may be evil or bad, but do they do bad things for the greater good? If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Like murder is not good.
No, murder's generally not good. No.
A more evil person a bad thing if it's for the greater good.
But see, this is the old if you kill Hitler, do you save the world argument? And
well, also mean you wouldn't go back in time to start with.
We just fly, bro.
And changing history means you've got nothing to go back to because we wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
That is for sure.
Now, hopefully, if I've got that set right, I mean, I don't know.
But it's like that whole show, Gary. I think we've mentioned about it before on Amazon. Man in the High Castle. It was also a book, which was what the world would look like if Nazi Germany had won the war.
Yeah, actually, the Philadelphia Experiment, the second film was about that as well. Well, it was about them, time travel, but then they got hold of like a plane with nukes or something like that, and then when they came back to the present, everything had changed because that was allowing the Germans to win the Second World War. So that's same argument. So now what I've got to do,
Not a bad show.
I'm just going to write a little bit of garble just to see.
Gibbled gobbledygook. I can't say that. It's not politically correct.
That's too small. I need to make it bigger.
Look at all those D's.
I know.
He's gone triple D's. There's no double D's.
Triple D sounds fun.
Or it depends what D it is. But I also I got my friend onto listening the Lear test.
Oh, the John Lear
and
test.
He goes, you really know how to screw with someone's head.
It's a good one, that.
He goes, but it's so true.
Oh man.
Yeah. Hang on, let's have a look. Where are we at? We've got 3 people watching, unless it's just the 3 of us. Jeremy, can you share the link in the WAPA page for us, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
I was about to share it on Discord as well.
Oh, it's been a while, so this is why it's even worse than usual getting everything set up. Because
I wonder if we'll see Carl.
We're back.
he did respond, so I don't know whether he'll be on or not. I didn't hear from Mark Detox, so I'm not sure. It's that time of the year again when the food trucks are out and about, so he might be getting ready to start all of that as well. So, yeah. Oh, so there's lots to talk about since the last one that we did.
Is there?
Yeah. How long has it been since the last one that we did?
Yeah, a little while.
It's been a moment or two. Fernando's moved.
I know, Fernando.
It was-
I'm no longer residing in New York. For those who didn't know, I done moved out. I'm in Florida now.
Is he
How's the
trying?
Gators?
He's trying to change his accent now.
I'm in Florida now.
Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
He eats me some of those. Them there grits.
I mean,
I don't even know what one of them is. What's a grit?
Grits is like a porridge type.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Keep that.
I've only had it once in my life.
I didn't mind. I've had it.
Holy
so
mother
I
of
don't
Lord!
quite remember.
There's a
I know
tarantula-sized
that
spider on my
for some
microphone
reason-
boom arm.
Huh?
Oh shit! That's massive. Big daddy long legs. Not exactly a tarantula, but
Daddy, long legs.
yeah. Bugger
Oh
off.
my god, dude.
Just go. Stop.
Do you know what is good though? Biscuits and gravy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Biscuits and gravy.
For sure, can't go right. You can't go wrong with that one.
Gary's like, why would you eat biscuits with gravy?
Yeah, I know. Well, depending on
Yeah,
how many people come in tonight, we can ask them. And
Well,
I'm hoping that we can
Biscuits
get.
and
I'm
gravy, as
hoping.
in like it's like a scone.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get some people in.
Well, I've just
Audio
chucked it up in
chat.
another Discord that I've got. Maybe he might join in.
We got 3 people in at the moment, but no one's in the chat yet besides you and I, so we won't get too carried. I haven't even got a start at the moment because obviously we had the old one, and I just realised we're on the new layout, which hasn't actually been premiered yet. So, bye-bye.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody if you're here.
So as I said, there is definitely a new start to everything. We've got the new look Shadow Files, the new look Fernando.
I mean, this is just temporary. We're just working. Yeah, hopefully soon. I mean, I just feel like I shouldn't invest too much time trying to do a good background if we should be moving out of here soon, so I could have my own
It still feels homely.
studio.
Are you guys
No,
moved?
for sure. I'm actually in my living room right now, and yeah, it's very not New York.
It's about as far from New York as you get. So, are you guys looking at
Well,
moving?
no, we're about as far as New York as you can get.
Yeah, I actually have
Yeah.
a backyard. I could walk and just look outside.
Actually,
you
last week I did the interview with Ben Hansen, and he's been here before, and he said he can't wait to come back. So I said, well, when you come back, I
Nice.
said we'll have you over for a barbecue because we've been talking for ages and stuff. And he said, I'll take you up on that because he loves a good Aussie barbecue. I didn't realise he actually spent a year living in Brisbane at one point there. So that's interesting.
I mean, is that? Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see that interview because that guy's done a lot.
Oh yeah, there's
Very much so.
a few audio problems because his connection wasn't great, but for the most part, you can hear everything that's said. So, and yes, he's a top bloke. Told us how Fact and Fake first came about and all that sort of thing. So you'll see it all
Nice.
in a few weeks. I mean, that one's there's a couple still to come out before that one, but
Not even we got to see that.
Hey? actually,
We haven't even seen it yet.
no, you haven't. But I could possibly find the link because I don't think I've locked it off yet. So I can send you guys a link so you can see it. But yeah, that's going to be a good one. We've also got
We've got 4
10
people.
10-1 of the conspiracy list coming out on Tuesday night. And Tuesday night for us over here in Perth, and it's Tuesday morning, I believe, for Fernando. And and then we get into a couple of corkers that we've already recorded, and one of them is the switch over to the new layout, which you can see now, the new look shadow files, which I've gone totally ass about with it. So you're seeing it before the premiere, which is weird, but if I'd have been smart, I would have actually just flicked back over to the old one because I haven't deleted that one yet. But here it is.
Fresh.
Yeah. So, first up, I guess anybody who is over. Hello, whoever is out there. We have.
It'd be nice if it actually told you who was in.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do that. I think we've said that about 1,000 times. But for anybody who's watching from the WAPA page, we have a public hunt next weekend, which brings me to the first little bit of stuff to talk about, and that is what happened at Karrakatta Cemetery. Did you see that?
Hey, I told you he'd be here.
Oh, Nick, you can rely on Carl. Carl's a legend.
Yeah, do you know what? Carl heard the 10-1 conspiracy theories. He's like, I'm there.
Oh, he's got to go back and watch the other 20 of them.
Conspiracy Carl.
Yeah.
There was 30 of them, right?
Yes. So there's still 10 to go, but you go back and watch the other 20. God, you've got a major problem with maths during this lot, isn't it?
Yes, I did for some reason. I mean, it's still too early.
It's the Florida coming out.
Yeah, he's laid back now. And in one of them, Fernando froze while we were talking, but he froze like, I just left it in. I zoomed it up and everything, so it's in there.
Thanks.
Oh, you're very welcome, mate. You're very welcome. How are you, Carl? It's been a while.
It's that Floridian water.
No, I mean, it is definitely a different environment out here. It's more, peaceful. For sure. But the only thing that I'm missing out is that I've been here already for a little over a month, possibly maybe even 2.
I'd say it's actually close to 2 because I had
Right?
off work.
Yeah. And
Are you getting homesick?
Not homesick. I'm getting paranormal sick. I haven't done nothing paranormal since I got here, and it's sad.
Well, gotta take your lady out. No, Carl's being a crook.
So is paranormal like someone in a wheelchair trying to walk again?
Glad to hear that, Carl. Glad to hear that. Oh my lord.
Oh man, it's been a minute.
We have issues. Hey,
what's going on?
But yeah. I haven't really been out there in the field in a while, so I'm getting paranormal sick.
Well, it's finding new places out around where you are now.
That's it.
No, there's actually a lot of places around here. I guess the most, well, maybe not the most famous. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of St. Augustine.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so yeah, pretty famous. That's out here by the bayou. So hopefully one day I'll check that out, take my cameras, take pictures, share with you guys. So yeah, for sure.
Well, one of the good things about talking with Ben last week is he actually brought up down around your area as well, and you wouldn't believe me, but he actually said there's a couple of very credible UFO crashes in and around your area, or reports, and he's been out actually looking into scavenging, trying to find any relics that may have been left behind. I mean, he did that out at Roswell as well. He's actually got the Roswell actual site location, so that's a really
It was
interesting
just a
one.
hot air balloon. It was a weather balloon.
He went into that. You'll see it when you watch the interview and everything. He's absolutely. It was a good one. It was an interesting one, and he's going to come back on as well. So that's definitely well worth watching. But yeah, so Fernando's moved. We've been doing a few bits and pieces. I've just got back from what ended up turning into a Mad Max road trip because we went through the sites, and I've realised when I've looked back at the video footage that I've done, it's just Mad Max, man. We even went to the Mad Max 2 museum, and yeah, it was killer there. So I did an interview with a guy that owns the place. Funny enough, he's from Yorkshire in England. And he's got a lot of the actual props from the film, and he knows a lot of the locations. So I'm trying to put that together, and then I'll put that out. But one of the things that Lynn and I said, have you ever walked down a high street of an old town, and you just look at a building and you go, that's haunted? Oh, that's what it was, Broken Hill, mate.
I mean,
everywhere's like that. Hey, that's haunted. That one's haunted. And we did get there on the... We did get there on the weekend of the Broken Heel Festival, which is obviously Priscilla Queen of the Desert was shot out there as well. So it was a bit of a drag queen fest, and
Gary felt right at home.
Well, it's a bit like Vegas. What stays in Broken Hill stays in Broken. What happens in Broken Hill stays in Broken Hill. So we're not going to go there, but
the hills and the dress.
We did have a few close encounters. I can say that. So, yeah, it's.
Oh, please do tell.
No.
Gary, what shade of lipstick?
Man, there was every shade of lipstick. I didn't actually see too much.
You wore.
Not me, I didn't. But I did buy a hat. I'll leave it at that. You'll see it in the video anyway.
Does it have rainbows?
No, but Lynn bought some shoes with rainbows on them. Sparkly rainbows. So the funny thing is they all come in sizes from like 13 up. big. And the caravan, all the caravans out there was absolutely heaps of them. But yeah, while everybody's looking at all the drag queens and everything, I was like, yeah, that place is so haunted. Next time we come back, we're going to go in there. And we did a trip out to Silverton at night, and it was the scariest drive of my life because what's normally a 100-kilometre-an-hour road, with the amount of kangaroos there and a rental car with a $5,000 excess, it was 25 kilometres an hour and watching every single bloody one of them. And then getting out there, and I couldn't get the shot that I wanted to get anyway because the moon was nearly full, so it was too bright. But you live and learn. So next time we go back, we're actually going to hire a room out. There's an actual ruin of a place out there, and where the ruin stops, they've got some new little chalets right next to it, so you can actually stay there the night. And it is literally classed as a ghost town because there's nobody around at night. There's probably 3 or 4 people that stay there. And right next to it is this old ruin of a place where BHP started. So that's going to be killer. So I was doing the stuff. They actually do a ghost tour there, but I don't know how much luck they get people getting out there on the night time, unless you've got a bull bar and a Sherman tank to get you to the place. So.
Well, I know where there's a Mephisto tank. It's just good luck getting it.
Anyway, so
all you guys have had these exciting things happen.
Well, you've had a few things going on as well.
Yeah, got a tattoo.
Yeah, tattoo.
I got a new job.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is he putting on an Aussie accent now, or was that an English accent?
Pardon?
Was he doing the Aussie accent, or was that an English accent he was trying to put on?
Who, Fernando?
Yeah, he was going, nice.
Yeah, nice. That's nice.
That's terrible.
Whatever. Between Australian, New Zealand, and English.
I'm not good with accents at all. I just have the me.
Have you done the? Have you tried doing the Florida accent? Now you've been there for a bit.
I haven't really. I mean,
Have you gone out fighting any alligators yet?
I actually haven't seen
I thought he was going to say, actually, I have.
do you know how many of them have seen you?
More than you want to know.
I hopefully most, because where I work now, it's a pretty open area, so there is a lot of lakes and waters. So
I'll have to get yourself a sidearm.
Mm.
yeah, I'm actually planning to see if I could get my what's the one of those licenses where the right to carry. So
Oh
yeah,
God!
yeah,
Send him out into the sticks, and he goes all Rambo.
Mm.
yeah. I mean, legally.
I mean, you kind of needed one in New York anyway, though they'll try to kick in unit doors.
Yeah, no, I mean it's definitely more difficult
Mm.
to get it out there in New York for some reason.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll get back onto some more ghostly conversations. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying before, I don't know if you know what happened, but Karrakatta Cemetery here in WA is reportedly the most haunted cemetery in the West Coast. It actually made it onto one of those lists on the WAPA page where they talk about them. I think it was the top 15 most haunted cemeteries around Australia, and Karrakatta came in there. And last week it was actually vandalised. Some lady, I think she smashed some windows and then set a fire or something, but it was over $1 million worth of damage. So for any teams that are going out doing paranormal investigations, I would probably give Karrakatta a big miss just at the moment, because there's going to be a lot more attention there. We did a...
So where are we going next week?
I'm not saying that publicly, you know that.
Karrakatta.
No, we're not going to Karrakatta.
No.
I've got somewhere very special. Oh, he's looking it up. He's looking it up.
Cemetery.
Oh, right.
I know a cemetery that's more haunted than that.
Oh, the one out in
Cemetery,
Jarrahdale.
quarantine station.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically still a cemetery.
Actually, I found out about a couple of new ones just recently as well, which are going to be worth checking into. So I'm going to get the deets on that, and then I'll let you know, and we'll get some of this new gear tested in the
Fernando
field.
just needs to hurry up and get over here.
Well, when Fernando comes here, we're doing Albany again.
I can't wait to do that. Yeah, I can't wait to do that.
Albany.
Is it going to be just Fernando, or is it going to be Fernando and co?
Let's see.
She's not real.
He should have said. He should have said yes right from the start. That was the wrong answer, Fernando.
The what?
It was the wrong answer. Oh, I'll have to see. It's going to be yes if she wants to. That's the answer you should have said.
No. Of course she wants to. I'm actually
his pitch
looking
went up then.
into the Karrakatta cemetery, and whatever
I'm pretty sure Fernando said that she doesn't want to come to Australia because she's too scared of it.
Well, this is the thing, right? Everybody who doesn't live in Australia is shit scared of Australia because they reckon everything here is going to kill you. So,
well,
I don't recall that conversation.
Whether it's animals or drunk drivers, one of them's going to get you.
Probably 70% of everything is going to have a crack.
I mean, come on, that's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, in Australia, yeah.
Oh man! But
can you swim?
If I could swim,
yeah.
Do I have to swim?
Can you swim?
This is Australia, mate.
I could swim.
This is Australia, mate. If you can't swim, you're in the
Fernando's
shit.
like, damn it, I can't swim.
You better start learning.
I could swim. I'm just, I heard so much about great whites out there. Is that why do I have to swim?
Well, we're surrounded by water.
All right. I have to stop the conversation now. Carl has just gone. I built an extension on a crematorium in the late 90s. It was haunted, he reckons. Come on, tell us about it, Carl. I want to hear about this one. Yeah, you've kept this one from us up until now. But while we wait for him to reply, because there's this 30-second delay on everything. Yes. So how much damage do people cause at cemeteries around near you? Now, when we were at Karrakatta many years ago, I actually ended up. Well, I'll go back a little bit. When we were heading back to the cars, because it was a public hunt, so we had public with us, but we noticed that there was somebody stalking who wasn't part of our group. And this is in the middle of cemetery and everything. and he thought he'd be clever by hiding behind trees and doing the old Inspector Clouseau funny little walk and shit like that. But what he didn't realise is that we all had night vision, so we could all see him bloody clear as day. And every time he poked his head around the corner, his eyes glowed because of the infrared light and everything. Anyway, we got everybody back in the cars with the doors locked and said,
Good evening, James.
Yeah. He said, keep your doors locked and head out. So that's what we did. And it was about 3 days later, I got a phone call from the WA police with all these license and registration plates. And then he was giving me all the names to find out if these were all part of my group. And I was able to verify everybody. So there was no problems there. But what happened was he actually said, well, he asked us, and I told him about the guy that was sort of stalking the group. And he said, the reason why we're following up with you guys is because there was a person of interest in the Claremont serial killings sighted in the cemetery that night. And we just wanted to go through all the license plates just to make sure everybody is okay. So this person that was stalking I'm assuming anyway, because there could have been other people in there, but we're assuming that this guy that was stalking the group was potentially a person of interest in the Claremont serial killings. So that was the scariest brush that we ever had, and luckily we did the right thing to make sure everybody was safe. So what weird things have happened when you've been in a cemetery or somewhere spooky? Carl's telling us about distant moaning sounds and lights going on and off without explanation. Moaning sounds from the oven, the crematorium oven. I was thinking, who's baking? And then I realised, yeah, it's a crematorium. So
You open the door.
oh no, you got to give him a bit more. Another 10 minutes. So no.
You've asked where it was, and he's just giving you all the answers of what it was like.
Yeah. Oh shit. So what weird places have you been, Fernando? I know you like Kings Park. Did you ever have any strange, weird experiences in there?
In Kings Park, Jesus Christ.
Blasphemy.
I have to say that out of everywhere I've been, Kings Park is probably one of the most active, for sure. Great Class A EVPs. As far as something that I could present to you guys, Class A EVPs, and there has been some questionable clips. I am a very fairly tough guy to impress as far as with presenting evidence. I'm always looking, trying to debunk. Oh, it was this. It was this. It was this. So I actually do that to myself. So if I see something as far as video or picture is concerned, I am like one of my harshest critics before I put anything out there.
That's
So
the best way to be.
the, the fact that I could say that I have sometimes some good something to present. I believe I have some questionable clips out there and about. I think on TikTok or somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
definitely Kings Park.
Yeah, James is
Pretty
right
good.
there. It is creepy, even if it wasn't the serial killer. But I don't know if he was the actual guy that got charged with it. All I know, all right, and this is just a bit of trivia, I got asked for my picture to be used in a movie that was being shot over here, all right? And what I had to do was take a photo that looked something like a mugshot and had to sign it away and all that sort of stuff. And they were going to do their little things to make it look more like a mugshot. Anyway, a mate of mine, well, the guy that I don't really talk to much, but contacted me to say, hey, dude, do you know your picture's on the wall of this set? I said, yeah, I know. I said, I put it in because they said they were going to use it as a mugshot in a movie. I said, I don't know what movie it is. He goes, you're one of the people of interest in the Claremont serial killings. So they've actually made a film on the Claremont serial killings, and you're going to see my mug on the back wall as one of the people of interest. So that's going to be interesting.
People.
I don't even know what the film's called. They didn't tell me. Because
Look
all
at
you
your
all you
face.
get is a working title. Now sometimes the working title actually turns into the proper title. It's like when I was in 1%, the movie, the working title for that was Knuckle. So we had no idea
Makes
other
sense.
than it was to do with, bikies and stuff like that. So it was called Knuckle, and I thought, okay, there's going to be a lot of fighting involved in it. And then when it came out,
That was Fat Gary.
That was what?
Bigger Gary.
Bigger.
Actually, if you've got Stan,
I heard you right the first time, but I was
if
like,
you've
no, wait.
if
wait,
you've
what?
got Stan, the streaming site, 1% has literally only just turned up on there in the last couple of weeks. So I ended up watching it for
Yeah,
the
I
first
bought
time.
it a while back.
Yeah, I've got the DVD there somewhere as well, and
I got
I've
the
got
VCR.
I've got all the autographed pictures with everybody that was in the movie. I've got my photo with all the stars, and that girl Abby Lee. I've got to tell you, man, she's about 7 foot tall, and you can put your hand around her waist like that. She's super skinny. Have you seen The Black Tower? She was in that with Matthew McConaughey. She was in Mad Max Fury Road. She was one of the girls in the back of the truck in Mad Max Fury Road with Tom Hardy. And she's been in a whole load of other films as well. But I didn't know who she was. So the only one I knew was Matt Nable and Ryan Core. Oh, and Simone Kessel, who's Princess Leia's stepmom. So, yeah. So you've got to be careful whenever you go out on a public investigation, and you do have to make sure that you're looking out for the people that are with you, because you just don't know who's going to be out and about. So,
Yeah, you'll be
And I've got
surprised
it.
that a lot of these places, safety issues are all over.
mm-hmm.
They're out there.
Well, generally when we go out, it's a decent sized group, and most of us guys are fairly tall or bigger than most people. So yeah, we're all right. Not saying that someone can't do anything. It's just it kind of limits the chances.
Mm-hmm.
I
Somebody else.
mean, sometimes you have to, tread through some unfamiliar, terrain, and the taller and bigger you are, how the old say goes. I think, the harder you fall.
Yeah, but it means I can take more people out with me. It's all good.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah. So anyway, we've got I've got several locations lined up for investigations over the next 3 months, and
Yep.
some are going to be obviously
We've
private.
got 7 people.
Some are going to
Howdy.
some are going to be public, and like I said, we're starting our.
Are we I'm gonna we'll video call Fernando when we go out for one.
Yeah. Am I still
That'd be
here?
cool.
Because it's telling me that OBS is doing some weird stuff.
Unfortunately.
Ho, ho.
Yeah, no, we can still see you.
But yeah, I've got some good locations that most of the guys that have been in WAPA over the last few years haven't been to yet. So I've just got to lock in times with them. Now some of these are very restrictive on space, so we're going to be limited to a basically core members only. But yeah, we've got lots going. We're going to try a few different places for our Skywatch nights. We're going to mix it up from the usual spot where we go, but we're going to have some of them as well.
Top
So
of the zigzags.
I've actually thought about that. Is the zigzag still as scary as it used to be, or because back last time I did it, it was a gravel
As
road.
in
It was a gravel
Lucas
road.
Keane. Hi, Heidi.
Hello, Heidi. How are you? Lucas Keen on what? Oh, she can fill me in anyway. She can send me a private message. But
Luca is keen
What is
on
zigzag? You guys
cemeteries.
left me waiting. Like,
But
what is
The zigzags, well, they're not rolly papers.
no.
It's literally a road that zigzags down the side of a hill.
You know when you see all of those movies where you got the scary drive and they're just back and forwards? Well, the zigzag is quite literally that. There's not even barely any room to swing your car around. And I did it once. I did it once in an XC Falcon. So imagine that, an XC Falcon. It's got the turning circle of a bloody
wide and big
as a
barge
bus.
ship.
And I remember once when I was doing this driving safety course, not by choice, but I had to do it. And he said, you're going to go down the zigzag, and if you put your foot on the brake once, you fail. How the hell do you do that? He goes, accelerator control. I did it. I passed, and I've never done the zigzag since. I'm not gonna.
Oh my god.
Was that when the zigzag was going up?
No,
Or
I went
after
down.
they blocked it off and went down only?
I went down. That sounds wrong. But
What was his name?
yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Auto or stick shift?
No, that was a manual. It was a stick shift. That's for the American people that are watching. It's the millennial anti theft device. There's not many people can drive them.
I've been involved with you guys for a very long time, and sometimes you guys have these conversations that, good thing I know you guys, because sometimes certain you guys get into these topics, and then I'm trying to figure out, are they serious or are they effing with me right now?
Sometimes we are, and sometimes we are. So there we go.
But you will never know.
No, you won't. No.
It's like the guy at work is like, I don't know how to read you. I don't know whether you're being serious or you're not. I said, well, I know when.
All right, we've got some homework for Fernando. All right.
Yes.
Do you choose to accept this mission? I'm waiting.
But I gotta hear it first.
No, you don't.
No, do you choose?
No, you don't.
Look, it's a yes either way. So you say no, it's still a yes.
All right. I mean, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I trust Gary more than I trust you, Jeremy. So
You have 72 hours.
Famous last words, right?
That's right.
Well, you know how we were talking about broken heel? No.
Broken. I'm sorry.
You have to watch Brokeback Mountain wearing a cowboy hat, and that's it.
Yeah.
Ah,
No, nothing like that. Because you're new to Florida, you got to get yourself some research done, and you've got to come back at us with a really cool haunted location close to you. And then the next part of the mission is get out there and do some recon and report report back to us with it.
for sure. I am looking already into a couple of places. Where was I'll tell you right now which place. God, it's on the tip of my tongue. I hate when that happens. Let's see. There is, aside from St. Augustine that I mentioned earlier, but there is a Castillo, a Castillo. It's like a military kind of
Mm-hmm.
place. It is a tourist, obviously it's going to be like a tourist attraction kind of place, but it's it is pretty active,
Yeah.
and I just have to do some research to see if they allow investigations, because back in I was going to say back in the States.
Oh, he thinks
But
he's an international now.
But in PA, in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, Eastern State Penitentiary is a massive prison, and it's very, touristy, and
Mhm.
you can't do investigations there anymore. So I just need to do some research. But I have done some, so hopefully I could get myself a new team, because I have to get, I have to involve. I don't really go to certain places to conduct an investigation by myself due to safety reasons.
No, totally
But
understandable. Especially after what we were just talking about as well.
yeah, so I have to get myself a team before I could investigate. So let's see how that goes.
Well, you got to put it out there, mate, and get it going, get it started, because we can get them involved in the podcast as well. We've still got one planned with your lovely lady as well on a very cool topic, which I think there's a few of us interested in that one. So we just got to keep it under our hats until we get that one recorded.
How far from Jacksonville are you?
She's a fair way down, aren't you, compared to Jacksonville? Jacksonville's up in the north of, I think, of Florida.
Then it sounds like it could be an easy 2 to 3 hour drive.
Okay, no, because you got the Devil's School in Jacksonville.
I've got a friend in Jacksonville. He's the hollow earther,
Yeah.
not a flat earther because that's just weird.
That's what
But
I
a
mean. Like, you guys
hollow
have got
earther.
so much in Florida. I know Florida's a big place, but you've got so much in Florida compared to what we have here.
Well, we've got to send him out to the Bermuda Triangle to see if we can get him back.
Like, you've got the Capitol Theatre, Fort
So-
Pickens.
So, I have a question for you guys. Apparently, there is somebody that went, that has a video that went to the Bermuda Triangle, and recording himself. I believe it's like on YouTube or something.
Mm.
Is that even possible?
What, to record yourself at the Bermuda Triangle? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
The Bermuda Triangle is a pretty big area of sea and land.
No, yeah, for sure. But I'm thinking, is it even possible due to all the theories on why technology doesn't even work out there?
Well, the thing they say about the Bermuda Triangle is that it's not like that all the time. It's only when things spike that you get these fluctuations and everything, because there's so many planes that fly over. And this is one of the things that I reckon, right? Planes don't very often fall out of the sky now that they use GPS, opposed to when the planes were flying by magnetic compass and gyroscopic compass. That you could put that down to navigator error. I mean, that's Flight 19, the 5 Avenger planes that disappeared, never to be seen and heard from again. They were having issues with their magnetic compass spinning, which I've seen happen in my car. Just funny enough, just doing the run from the flat lake bed to the house, I've had my compass do all sorts of weird stuff. So these little that did tie in as well with a solar flare. So I don't know if solar flares have anything to do with it, because obviously when they hit the magnetic field, we get the southern lights or the northern lights if you're up north. And in fact, we're under a warning right at the moment because there's a big storm, a G5 storm, due to hit tomorrow. And they've actually put a warning out saying it's got the potential to disrupt electronic communications and cause problems to power grids. Now, when I say a G5, it's a bit like a tornado or a hurricane. The storms go from a 1 to a 5. You can get a storm which is like equivalent to a 20, but it's still going to be rated as a 5 because that's the highest that they go to. There's no limit once it goes over that. And there's one due to hit tomorrow. So I don't know if you saw on the news tonight, but you got a pretty good chance of seeing the auroras tomorrow night if you've got a clear enough sky. So if you haven't, it'd be a good night for a Skywatch night. Get out there, look in the southern sky. Lynn and I got some really cool photos of them last time when we had our last barrage of solar storms. So they're definitely worth doing. And that's what we're going to be focusing on with a lot of Skywatch nights as well. Astronomical things, anomalies and stuff.
Well, I was just looking then, Fernando, and apparently there has been as many boats and whatnot go missing over the Great Lakes Triangle, or was what there has the Bermuda Triangle.
There are a few different triangles around. There's a
So
big one in America. There's one in America.
It was known as the Great Lakes Triangle. It's now referred to today as the Lake Michigan Triangle.
No, it's not that one.
Like Michigan Triangle.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of thing, but it's weird.
You
Obviously,
think about,
we've done one on
flight paths
the Alaska Triangle. That one was even. So they
that
do
was
happen.
different, yeah.
They do happen around the
But it's
place.
like you think about how many thousands of boats and planes go across the Bermuda Triangle in a year. They're not disappearing like they were before.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I reckon I put a lot of it down to navigation things. Now, I know with ships going down, they've actually said on the seabed there's areas of gases, and any kind of seismic thing, all these gases release and hit the surface. Now, what happens is, as the gas hits the surface of the water, there's more air bubbles there than there are water, so the water's less dense, which means these heavy ships drop down into the ocean until they hit the dense water. But then once the gas stops, the water just whooshes in over the top and then down she goes. can't do a damn thing about it. That doesn't explain the planes, but that's the navigational things with the magnetic compass. That does explain the planes, because there hasn't been that. I mean, there still have been a few. There's that famous one of the guy that left. I don't know if it was Bimini or somewhere like that, and he was in like it wasn't a Cessna, but it was like a Piper, just a small plane. And what was supposed to be a 3-hour flight,
Yes, I remember this.
he hit this basically vortex where cloud starts to surround him. So he was flying through a tunnel, and what happened was it was getting closer and closer and closer, and in his magnetic compass was just, all of his instruments were going haywire. So he was just flying for that light. But what you remember is, if you're flying through a tunnel and you're just looking at the light, you don't know if you're flying up, you don't know if you're flying down, because you can't trust your airspeed or any of these kind of things. Anyway, he came out of it, and he was over Miami. And it was in the air for 20 minutes, and it should have been a 3-hour flight. And they said they don't know how it can do it, because that plane cannot go that fast.
Let alone having enough fuel.
Let alone having the fuel to do it in one stop, in one run. So things like that.
Wasn't there like a movie or a television show about how a plane got lost, and then when it resurfaced, it was like 15 years later, but everybody on the plane stayed the same age?
Oh, that's a TV show. No, it was 4 years later. Oh God, it's Manifest. It's called Manifest.
Manifest. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And what's funny also about, talking about the Bermuda Triangle, is that wasn't Amelia Earhart one of the conspiracy theories that we mentioned? And
That was one of them, but she was more over Papua New Guinea rather than the Bermuda Triangle. But the Bermuda Triangle takes everybody so. And in 1937, when she disappeared, the uproar around and all the phenomenon around the Bermuda Triangle was at its peak. So it was getting blamed for everything at that point in time. Bit like COVID's getting blamed for everything now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, but the conspiracy theory, wasn't it
5G. Yeah, go on.
Classified, mate.
the what?
G5 classified.
Oh well, fine. So if you guys want to know what happened to Amelia, I just forgot her last name. If you guys want to know what happens, so check it out. I think it's on the first 30 to 20.
It's on one of our top 30 conspiracy theory list.
Yeah. So make sure to check it out.
I think the biggest conspiracy theory at the moment is Fernando is in a relationship.
Yes, but we have never seen her other than some possibly Photoshop or AI generated photos, and a voice that could have been auto generated, because somebody else who is in this screen at the moment, not in this particular one, but in one of the 3 screens, was messing around with AI voices tonight before we went live, and it didn't sound good at all. I'm sorry, but who you said it was, that was not.
Hold on. I'm trying to get. Oh man. But no.
I might have to reverse Google search that image.
Well,
I mean, hopefully we'll be able to record that episode also very soon. It's been quite a active move, and with everything going on. I mean, just last week we had a hurricane, so it's a new job, a bunch of new stuff. So we're trying to find our ground right now, per se. So hopefully all of that stuff comes soon, for sure.
So what's Jeremy got new to discuss? Not much by the look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not much.
Wow, that was short and sweet, wasn't it?
Look, I'm just a plain old person.
Have you seen all the reports of UFOs that have been popping up lately across the Southern Americas?
I've been working.
There's lots, and I'm talking group sightings, as in lots of individuals and more than one craft in the sky at any one time. Very
but you
reminiscent
think
of
about
the
it as
Phoenix
well.
Lights.
I'm not saying there's any more or there's any less than what there was to start with, but a lot more people are starting to look for it, being that it's been undisclosed.
Mm. And again, going back to the Ben Hansen interview, he has a little bit to say on that as well, which is really, really, really cool. So he doesn't tolerate people who are one side or another. He likes people that call it as it is and analyze it as it is. Yeah. So
it's like with any photos that are taken and people are screaming for paranormal, and you like, hang on, was it, refractions of light? Is it dust? Is it? You can't just go, oh, this is what it is, the face there. Well,
yeah,
you tell yourself that something's there enough, you're going to see something.
Yes. And that brings me up to we've got a couple of private cases on at the moment, which we don't go into publicly. So we've got one which it's sort of on the burners at the moment because there's a lot of issues that there are police involved, there are doctors involved, and I'm talking, if you've seen Amityville or any of those kind of shows, I'm talking potentially that level. And I don't like using the D word, but the more I talk to this family, I still can't get them to commit to us coming out. Literally everybody except the mother of the family is screaming for us to come in, and that they're in constant contact. But yeah, it's actually people have
pulled the old majority rules card.
Well, the problem is people have now been hospitalized by the activity at this house, and all I can do is talk with them, because until we can get permission to go in from the mother, now that her parents, or the people that actually own the house, they want us to go in to clear the house, but we can't go in there when I believe that somebody within the house is actually welcoming this spirit in, because we can clear it as many times as we want. It's just going to keep coming back.
Back in, that's it.
Yeah. And we actually, Jeremy and everything, we've actually, this one was so severe that we actually invested in body cams, didn't we? Just to make sure that we were protected when we go out there.
Not even for that. It's for any damages that do it. If any damages occur, or
yeah, we have a record of it. Yeah,
this person did this and it was inappropriate. Well, we've got it all on record.
Yeah,
it's for our own public safety.
And I'll just put it out there for any teams. It's probably a pretty good investment in this day and age. You can get them pretty cheap. You can get them.
You think about it, a group of people, say 3 or 4 people, and 2 of them are men, and you're going into a lady's house, regardless of sex, male, female, whatever, and they start pulling that card. That's it. You're finished.
You paint it with that brush, and it's almost impossible to get that shit off.
Yep.
Yep.
Better safe than sorry. But yeah, definitely. I can't wait to know what you guys get in that investigation, because you have mentioned it before, and I believe
it's been going on for a while.
It's been going for a while. Yeah. This one. It's a big case, and it's going to make if we don't get anything done soon, we're going to see it on the news, because somebody's going to die. One person has already died as a result, and I have a feeling there's going to be at least another 2, maybe 3 deaths if it doesn't work its way through the whole family. Now, this family is very, very, very similarly structured to the DeFeo family from the Amityville murders, as in the number of kids and the rough ages of them and all and everything like that. Now, I formed an initial opinion on the case based on first contact and conversations with them, but on looking into it deeper and everything, and Jeremy will tell you, I warned everybody that anybody gets involved in this case, you've got to be prepared for a big fight. And it's now, with what's going on, that D word is looking more and more likely, because it's already claimed one life. And I think it's very close to at least one other, if not two others. And that's a scary place to be, especially when one of those lives that I truly believe is in peril is one of the ones that is holding out and doesn't want us to come in, because I think they've got a I don't know if relationship is the correct word, the correct word for it, but I do believe they have a rapport with whatever this entity is, and
Dependence.
yeah, I think whatever it's doing, it's making it feel the right way. It's doing the right things, and then it's doing what it does on the other side of the flip side of the coin, and it's keeping it
Being
right,
a pineapple.
keeping her right where it wants to keep her. Yeah. So now speaking
Of pineapples, has anyone heard of pineapples?
he keeps popping up on my TikTok.
I don't have anything to do with it.
I don't have anything to do with him
Really?
either, but he keeps popping up, and I go, I'm not looking.
Why
He's,
did you mention it in the first place?
he's still doing this.
Well,
He's still doing the
I
same
said that
things.
Like the only time I know about this F boy is when it's mentioned. Is when it's
no, I was just saying, has anyone heard from him?
No, I
haven't heard from him, no.
I was going to follow up with, how good is it?
Disappeared out of my life.
Like,
which
how
is
good is it?
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
It makes me want to drink a pina colada.
Oh, speaking of said fruit, we did the interview with Jax a while back. I've been speaking with her, and she's as keen as mustard to come back on. Now, obviously,
Yeah, we need to get them both on.
yeah, they're both going to come back on. We need to set that up, and they've got the premiere of their TV show coming out soon as well.
Ooh.
So we might get a couple of little snippets from that to share on the podcast. Now we got that. We also have Kim, Katie, and Michelle from Long Island and Rhode Island. They're keen to come back on the show. They had an absolute blast last time they were on the show, and they want to come back on as well. We've got to set one up with Barry Fitzgerald again, because Barry said he's got some cool stuff going on. And Ray, our Yowie researcher, he wants to come back on as well. So we have a pretty good lineup of shows coming up. We've just got to get them locked away. But
maybe I might be able to be in these ones.
Yeah.
Also, have you when was the last time you spoke with Joe Frankie? Because he said he also wants to jump back on.
He does, and he wants to come back on himself, and he wants to come back on doing a show with his daughter as well, or his daughters. I got a message from him the other day. I'm still waiting, because Joe Frankie, if everyone doesn't know, he was pretty much trained by Ed and Lorraine Warren, so he's got a pretty good pedigree of dealing with these cases, and I'm just we're trying to tee up a time, because he's so busy with these lectures and things that he's doing at the moment, to have a bit of a chinwag with him and get his take, especially considering he's told, I think you knew about it as well, some of the things that he's got planned, follow-ups to some of the big cases and everything. He wants some of our help with some of that, he was saying, and so we can be part of that, which is going to be cool. But
For sure.
Joe Frankie, so yeah, he's going to be back on as well. So I've just got to, like I said, I'm just waiting to lock that in so we can discuss this case that I was just telling you about, but also coming back on the show as well. So we've got a pretty big lineup. I remember when Jeremy and I kicked off, and we said we might have maybe two or three guests a year. Now we're absolutely smashing them out.
And I've still got my fingers crossed for one of the guests actually two of the guests that we had said originally.
Yeah,
It might happen one day.
I'm still waiting on him. Even when he was over here, I couldn't get him.
Which one?
Oh, whatever, he's Blink 182.
No, he does this and sings.
Oh, I don't know. I thought he was the drummer.
No, it's Travis Barker.
Ah, well, there you go. See, I'm not a in with popular music.
Oh man.
I don't know many of the bands
have a
since
pretty
the
good
80s.
year coming.
We
Tom
do.
was right.
We do. We do. In fact, we're going to end this year with a big bang. And speaking of which, we have to start planning our Halloween special because that's only a couple of weeks away as well.
Oh
Yes.
man, I can't believe
Fernando can-
it's been a year since that.
It
'Cause
has.
I remember we had
The
the
mask.
Halloween
Movies.
special last year with the movies. Oh man.
We had the mask, and
just
then
gonna
I
take
did
his
the whole,
makeup
the
off.
whole.
Welcome to the show. This is our Halloween special.
And that not, and Fernando couldn't understand the word that I was saying because I was talking through the mask.
I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand a word you said then either.
Nah. I'm worried.
This one might be better. There you go. Actually, hang on.
Yeah.
No,
Sounds
that
clear.
one. Ooh, what's that
Clear.
one? Oh,
Yeah, so
This is from
what
one
do
of
you
the-
guys
this is-
think we should do this
This
year?
is from one of the other channels. This one's understandable, but yeah, I can't go into that one.
you know what that one is, but I'm not going into it. That one.
So for the Halloween special, what topic do you think we should talk about?
I don't know. Let's put it out to the people in the chat room. What? All four of them. What topics will be a good one to discuss for our Halloween special? We'll wait. It's all right.
I mean, we did the movies, so Halloween
we did movies last time.
special. Mm,
Fernando's favorite candy.
I love Halloween. I love Halloween. I think it's the best time of the year.
Well, you see, my wife.
think-
My wife.
I think Christmas is the best time of year
Yes, my wife. She loves.
because it's that 1 year you get to see Gary piss off the Hare Krishnas.
That's happening again this year. Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna.
Hey, we got these.
Oh shit! So there's going to be proof. Damn. No, I've never.
Oh man.
You know how they do their little play the tambourines and shit and they dance around. When I jump on the back,
should we bring our own tambourines?
they get faster and faster and faster until they're just full on fucking sprinting.
Gary, I'll get a little tap drum. You can get yourself a tambourine.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man.
Fernando was here. We get him with the
not
triangle.
miss that. For
I could bring the kazoo.
nothing.
I could bring a kazoo.
Oh man, that tickles your lips when you play one of them. That sounds wrong, but
Swear, yeah.
Wow, to the two people that just joined. Sorry about that one. Let him tickle your lips.
my apologies. I am sorry. But yeah, what is a good topic for a Halloween special on our podcast? We haven't had any responses in the chat room. I don't know, because like I said,
What about you got those haunted houses where you got to sign a waiver, and have you heard a few of them that have been getting in trouble?
No, well, what's been going on?
It's a few years old now. It could be more. About the actual shit that they'd gone through, and people signing waivers. You know, you may die of a heart attack during this process, and ruddy.
Yeah, well, I don't know how
And the
close
actual
that could be for
physical
me.
and mental torture that they put them through.
Wow. No.
Damn.
I know when I spoke to the girls from Soul Sisters Paranormal, they're pretty tight with the owners of the Conjuring House, and apparently there's a lot of stuff going on there at the moment. So they didn't go into a lot of it, but there's a lot of shit going down there. And some of the stories I've heard from both sides of this argument, I'm not really going to say anything on any of them because it's hard to work out what's true and what's not. But yeah, I think there's two sides to every story. I'll just leave that at that. But you know,
Fortunately, there's a lot of controversy going on there, but I haven't heard a peep from that for a while already. So hopefully, it just died out.
well, it's what's funny is right when I was talking to these three girls, and if you want to go back and you can have a look through our podcast, look for the one with the Soul Sisters. It's a right crack up, these three girls, and two of them are sisters, and the third one's the Soul Sister. Anyway, they went on a trip to England, and they actually went to the ancient Rams Inn and did an investigation there. And apparently, they wanted to do this. They did this experiment, and I'm only going to say this, and then you can go and watch the rest of it to get what gets said afterwards. But They did this experiment where each one of them had to think of a word, but they didn't tell the others, and then see what comes up on the equipment. And the word came up, orgy. And every one of them started smiling. They were all thinking orgy. And I'm not going to say anymore. You've got to go and watch the video to find out the rest of the story. But these girls are an absolute crack up. So,
But that's actually a very good technique, also, if you really think about it.
yeah.
It's
One of the good things about talking to a lot of these different people from different teams is hearing how they do investigations and some of the techniques that they use, because something that's decent, we can adopt and use in some of our investigations. And again, there's things that we do that they'll try as well, because you just never know what's going to work at any particular time in any particular location. So there's some.
Well, it'll be pretty cool to get out there on the field, and while we were recording or even doing a live, we could try these techniques that certain paranormal investigators, because I always say, we are always learning from one another
Yeah.
during investigations. So it'll be cool to like give a shout out and try their special move per se
Well,
within the.
everyone has one, and the thing is, every team comes up with their own special name for it. But at the end of the day, when you look at it, it's the same thing that everybody else does. They just call it something different. I mean, the Estes method, it's basically the same as the Gansfeld experiment with a few changes, and I'm pretty sure that's completely different or completely the same thing with a slight change to a different one. In fact, at one point when Pineapple, before Pineapple and I fell out, he wanted to actually, because I told him about some of the stuff that we've done, and then he did talk about some of the stuff that he does, and combining the two together would make a pretty cool investigation technique. And he wanted to call it the, well, let's just say it's a combination of my name and his name, and he wanted to use that.
Playboy method.
I didn't want to go there, so I said no. And he wanted to start hashtagging it and all this sort of shit. So I said no, I'm not.
I remember. I remember
But
during
he's
that
still probably
time.
he's probably using that method, calling it his own.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it, because that's the kind of person that he is.
So this haunted house that I was telling you about just before is called McKinney Manor.
I've heard of it.
McCamey Manor. It is that bad. You need to read and sign a 40-page waiver, have a doctor's note, have a safe word in place.
Safe word. Get me out of here.
Where is it? Where is it?
Pineapples.
Not when I'm
Well,
drinking,
well,
dude. Not when I'm drinking.
So it cost for someone to go into this haunted house, all it costs you is a bag of dog food.
A bag of dog food.
Yep. The owner himself, Russ, the guy that runs the place, has 5 dogs.
Where is this
If
place
you
located?
complete,
Where's
it's
it?
in the US.
Oh, bugger.
If you complete the tour, Russ will personally hand you $20,000.
Oh, easy.
That's what you think.
That's
You
what
have
I
to be
think.
21 years or older.
Yeah.
Complete a sports physical and a doctor's letting saying you are physically and mentally cleared. Pass a background check, be screened via FaceTime, proof of medical insurance, sign a detailed 40-page waiver, and pass a portable drug test on the day of the show.
That's pretty intense stuff.
So, what he uses in his shows and his houses are never based on the same thing. He uses hypnotism and taps into your deepest, darkest fear.
Oh, so this isn't like a actual haunted house. This is a show that he
Yeah,
puts on.
it's set up. No, it's set up at his property. There's a 2-hour video of watching what they do with people, and
You'll have to throw the link in there in the chat.
I will. He goes, there's a 2-hour movie Russ requires you to watch before visiting the manor. The video, and then there were none, is a collection of every contestant who attempted it, between July 2017 and August 2019. It's a montage of people quitting the tour, uttering the required phrase, "You really don't want to do this."
See, now I want to do
Sounds
it.
interesting.
I want to do
So
it.
Yeah,
his
same here.
his warnings are intense audio, lighting, extreme low visibility, strobe and fog light effects, damp and wet conditions, physically demanding environments, close contact with creatures you might be touched, very real and graphic scenes of horror.
Yeah, I'm still in. I'm still in. I mean, the strobe lights, that's going to set anybody off who's got even remotely an epileptic tendency.
But yeah, hypnosis is his thing that he uses. He was saying.
There was
Okay.
there was a TV show, right, with it in England. This guy, he's a hypnotist dude. But
Hip hop almost.
yeah, but what his specialty in is actually retraining how people think. Now, what he does is he sets these different scenarios up, and there was this one where these two brothers actually won a trip. It was a bus trip. It's set in England to it's about a 2 hour drive, and there's a concert on for their band that they love, and they'd won tickets for it. So he was over the moon, but he's a real selfish bastard, right? This kid. He when I say kid, he was in his 20s, but his family, he was lazy. He didn't help them out or anything like that. So this guy sets about these scenarios to try and tap into his more emotional side and his sympathetic side and things like that. Now, the premise behind this was they started playing stuff into into the family's TV, and it was showing about this meteorite shower which was due to hit, and you could see a pretty good light show in the coming days, which timed out roughly to when they were on this coach trip to the concert. But what happened was while they were on there were certain people in the bus, including this hypnotist. He's one of these guys that can go, and that's it, you're done. I don't know how they do it, but it's some sort of programming thing. And apparently, a lot of the stuff that they were watching in the week or two before this was programming and setting certain thought patterns into his mind. And then on this coach trip, what happened was all of these meteorites started hitting the ground, and they had actual pyrotechnics and these explosions all set up, and everybody on the bus was freaking out. And when everybody's freaking out and looking what's going on, the hypnotist did his thing and knocked him out. And then when he came to, it's a bit like the first episode of The Walking Dead. He woke up in a hospital bed, and he had like a red tag on or a blue tag or something, whatever color it was. And he's like, what the hell? And there are certain actors in play, and they're saying, we've been hit, the country's been wiped out. There are marauders out there who are going crazy. What color tag are you? Oh, because if certain color tags are affected by this thing, and almost violent mutant type situations. And then they set certain targets, like they put a young girl in with him, like 14-year-old girl or something like that. And she had certain things to say to him to try and play on his sympathy. And the tricks was to try and get him to sympathize and look out for her. But it just kept growing and growing. He thinks the world has ended. He's tried calling his family, but all the phone lines have got the emergency broadcast system. It's done. But he can't get out because there are marauders on the other side of the fence. And there are bodies around the place with these different colored tags, and some of them have been eaten and things like that. And ultimately, they turn around and when they're trying to escape, and he starts being like a father figure to this girl, and he starts looking out for her. So they said, well, look, we've done what we need to do. And then they eventually reveal it to him, and they said, this is how you need to change your life. You need to start thinking about others, because being selfish, you're not going to end up anywhere decent. He's done 3 or 4 of these different scenarios, and they were on Netflix. I don't know if they still are now, but this one was probably 10 years ago. And it's a cracker. It's like a 2-part, 3-part. It's definitely worth watching, because it does go into how you can program somebody and put the right sort of information in front of them so that it leads them in a certain direction. It sounds like this guy on this show where you got to sign all of these waivers. That's the first part to this. It already, well, you know, you got to sign your life away before you can get in there. That's your first step. And then you have to go through all of these tests. Well, it must be pretty scary. So you've already started to build your level of anxiety up before you even step
Oh,
inside.
you watch that video. You got people that are getting buried alive, sort of thing,
Yeah.
in this house, and you're like, oh damn.
So, do you guys believe in hypnosis?
Yes.
I've never experienced it. I've never witnessed it, but I know my old uncle used to smoke like a bloody chimney, and he went to a hypnotist to help him quit. He quit, and he never went. He never smoked again.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I've seen other cases
I think
where
mainstream media are doing a great job of hypnosis with everyone.
No.
oh, that's just pulling the wool over people's eyes. That's I don't think that's hypnosis.
Conditioning.
That's more programming and
it is
conditioning.
it is to a good degree.
Yeah, I
But
suppose.
what does a hypnotist do? It reprograms.
Yeah, I guess, but that's more on a. It's on a more localized and a lot quicker. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose it's a different way of looking at it. Yeah, mass hypnosis. So interesting.
It's wild. It's wild.
It's free watching in 75 minutes.
Yeah. It's only the diehards. There's only 3 of us in, so we're 1 for 1. Shit, I don't know if it's us 3 or if there's actually somebody there. But yeah, we won't be too long. We started earlier than usual. Normally we would do a 9 o'clock, but because we haven't done one for a while, we figured we'd start a bit earlier and see how we went.
Fernando awake by the looks of it.
The what?
So we're keeping Fernando awake by the looks of it.
Well, we woke him up. That's why.
I mean, it is still, it's already 9:30.
Your clocks are going to change soon, aren't they?
9:24 over here.
Aren't your clocks?
9:24.
9:24.
Hey, hillbilly. Your clocks are going to change soon, aren't they? You're going to go to 13 hours.
Is it?
Well, it is over east.
No. Is
Them
it changing
gators.
yet? No, shit.
Mama said them gators gonna move the clocks.
Oh, man.
It's gonna be going by CGT, Central Gator Time.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. We can get him out on an airboat. Unleash
Fan boat.
the hillbilly.
I go by Stranger's Minds, not Destination Truth.
That is one of the best shows. I love Destination Truth.
Oh man, is it right?
It's
right?
awesome.
Great.
I've got all 5 seasons of it on. Well,
VHS.
I've got all 5 seasons of it.
We have to try.
Just don't
we have
ask
to
where I
try
got
and
them.
see if we could get Josh Gates on one day.
I
That
have
is
have
amazing.
reached out, but he's not responded as of yet. Neither has Dan Aykroyd, and neither has Jeremy's favorite guitarist. So apparently not drummer.
Neither has Mr. Greer.
No,
Mr.
no.
I did actually email
You got to get the right one.
all Lazar.
Oh, you won't get Bob. You won't get Bob.
I mean, hey, shoot for the stars. Why
Well,
not? It'll land somewhere.
I've even reached out to Jeremy Corbell, and because he's in tight with Bob Lazar and George Knapp, but haven't heard anything from there either.
Look, let's be honest. You shoot for the stars on those sorts of things, hoping for the best, but you know it's going to be a no, so you're not really losing anything.
Well, we got a yes from Brendan Fugel, but so he's the owner of Skinwalker
That's
Ranch. But
That's when you
Is-
start getting names like that, and then people are going to start looking at you.
yeah. So, like I said, going back to Ben Hansen, he's ex-FBI. I was so tempted to pull the old X-Files question, but I didn't do it. But I wanted to.
You do it on the next one, because then you've already had rapport with him.
Oh, we had a good old chat because even when the camera stopped, I kept it recording, but just so I could get the snips that I needed because he recorded that. Pardon me, that little promo which I put out So I just said, can you just do a little promo for us? And he just blurted that out, and he had to move on because he had more interviews to get on with. But it was nice enough we get some time with him. So he is definitely interested in coming on again. But probably let everybody to share him around with everybody else before we get him back on. Because he's got a lot of people that are interested in talking to him.
And we thought that our first guest was pretty cool.
Yes.
At the time.
Oh, we
Actually,
did at the
before the
time. I
time.
mean, okay, we're talking about Rob Demarest. He was, I mean, we're not going to go into details, but he was a mate because he reached out. He found me through LinkedIn and sent me a message saying, "Hi, I'm Rob from Ghost Hunters International. I'm doing a new show.
Old big Rob Knob.
I'd like to know if you're
Hi,
interested."
Christy.
Hey, Christy. Yeah, he goes, "I'd like to know if you're interested." And I said, "Oh, shit, yeah, I'm in for that." And we used to chat all the time, but then I started getting these calls at 2:00 in the morning when he's drunk in a bar and he's going, "I'm going to belt the shit out of these guys over here." And I said, don't do it, you know. And you get to learn what he's like. I mean, I never really had a problem with him with all of that stuff. I just figured that's who he is. But when absolutely ridiculous accusations started coming later
It was
on.
your long distance relationship with
It
his
was
partner.
apparently
That's what it was.
my long distance relationship with his girlfriend. She's in Vancouver. I'm in Western Australia. I'm happily married.
Ruffle.
And he had this, you know, he had this weird thing, and I was trying to take his girl from him. No, and that's when I
Maybe
said,
he
"Look,
just couldn't see that you were going for him.
no." I've actually still got the interview where we were talking to the executives from this production company for the TV show because I had to record the whole thing, and it was so close. But there was a few things because anybody that knows who he is knows there's been certain accusations made against him, and this producer goes,
yeah.
just not to mention the elephant in the room is, but these allegations, he basically at that point turned around and said the show would have a better chance of running if you weren't in it, at least by name. And he said, well, he was happy to come into it under a pseudonym, just as an executive producer or something like that. And that went places. That got pretty close. And then there was another one that I was involved with off the back of that one, which we actually got it as far as getting an approval from the network and the production company. But when that happened, we had a pretty big network. They said yes, and they even gave us a budget per episode. When that happened, COVID hit. So they had to put it on the back burner until COVID went away. But COVID lasted a lot longer than anybody thought it would. And in that time, the whole thing went icy cold, and it's never been heard or seen from since. So that's what it's like, you know. And then I was with
We
involved.
applied for a show.
Hey, we did.
We applied for a show.
We did. I've the closest I got. Well, obviously, I've been in a couple of those movies, but with a TV show, the closest I got was a show called The Big Adventure, which is very similar sort of thing to Survivor, and I got through to the final 18 contestants, but they only took 12 through to the island. So I was on the backup list in case somebody was injured or somebody couldn't make it, but they all bloody did, so I missed out. And then we applied for that one, which I haven't actually seen that one that we applied for yet. I haven't seen it come on the show yet on TV, so I don't know if that actually ended up happening. But that had a really cool synopsis.
Do you know how funny it would be seeing the two of us on like The Amazing Race?
Well, me, I can't run. I'm going to have a heart attack.
No, but you know what I mean, though. Like,
we should apply for the next series. We should apply for the next series. Team Ghost Hunter. Boop, boop.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Aren't they doing something like this right now? Something
Oh,
called-
it's actually they've got the Celebrity Amazing Race on TV here at the moment. This is the Australian version, not the American version.
No, I'm talking about something.
Paranormal Race.
Yeah, something like this. But I think, 28 days or something like this.
Oh, is that Hunted? Yeah,
Uh,
it sounds
Once
like
I
Hunted.
find that, if I get it, I'll definitely let you guys know. But they found a couple. They got a couple of paranormal investigators, well known, and then they send them off, and they have to investigate a place or stay in a
Oh
place.
no, 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 no! I know the one you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Ghost Town Kings Park.
That's that 28 days or whatever it is, or some. That's got oh bloody hell, Tony Spira or whatever, whoever they are. And what it was that the Warrens said it takes 20 days or 28 days investigating for the spirits to become comfortable with you to start getting interactions, and it's about them filming these teams sticking to a location for that amount of days to see what kind of activity they had. Yeah, that was on one of the networks as well, and it was quite interesting some of the stuff they got, because some of them were teams of actual paranormal investigators and others were just your average Joe Blow who were just selected for the show, and they provided all of the tech and everything, and there was cameras everywhere and stuff like that, but they just had to stay in this location for that amount of days and continually do their investigations and stuff. So yeah,
James said the guys from Nespa.
yeah, Tony Spira and everyone.
Yeah, that sounds interesting for sure. I wouldn't mind doing that.
And that's who Joe Frankie, he knows those guys because obviously Tony's part of the Warren family, and pretty much so is Joe, so he knows these guys. So yeah, no, that's New England psychic paranormal, whatever it is. Yeah. So yeah, it's some interesting, very interesting stuff out there. There used to be a TV show that came out here, and what it was they would put people in a haunted location overnight, and whoever could last the longest, and they had to record any footage, or they had to record any evidence that happened. But what the thing was, some of the stuff was faked and set up to really freak them out. But when they got back, and some of the stuff that they caught, and they spoke to the producers, and the producers said, "Yeah, we did that. No, we didn't do that. No, that was not us." And when they were saying, "No, that wasn't us," the looks on these people's faces were like, you saw the color rush out of their face, and they were like, "Huh?" So it was actual real haunted locations, but they set so many things up, and they told you on the show, at the end of the show, not while it was running, but at the end of the show, they would tell you which was stuff that they'd prepared and which was actual real evidence that was picked up that was not in any way doctored. And I wish I knew some of the locations, but it was some of the really cool things like asylums and places like that over east. So yeah, there's some really good old shows out there. There's not a lot lately, but there's some really good old ones.
People
Yeah,
are too
yeah.
soft in their fairies now. If you
Actually,
did a show like that, they'll sue you.
we haven't done one on the fairies yet. We came close when we were talking to Barry Fitzgerald, when we started talking about the leprechauns and the elementals. We might have to do an episode on the fairies, fairy lore.
I think Lynn would be in on that one.
I mean, I've seen videos of potential fairies being caught on tape.
Well, the most famous one, and I'm pretty sure it's been debunked, but the most famous one was the Cottingley Fairies, which is a town probably half an hour away from where I grew up. And at the start of the last century, when Arthur Conan Doyle, the guy that wrote Sherlock Holmes, he actually investigated these photos that made it onto the newspapers, because that was back when it was the old plate, the old plate photography. And he proved back then that they couldn't have been faked. But I think with modern technology, you can see where it potentially could have been. But that definitely brought the question of the Fae and the Fae folklore into modern times, and there could potentially be something to it. And then after hearing what Barry Fitzgerald said, if you haven't heard it, go back and watch our Barry Fitzgerald interview, because he's actually witnessed some of the Fae from around the north of Ireland and everything. And he is, Fernando will tell you, he is a believer in the leprechaun, isn't he? And he actually said they're not wee little will-o'-the-wisps, is what he said. He goes, they're as big as you or I, and there's a definite difference to the way they look, so you can tell they are not human.
They're gingers.
Yes, they're all rangers, yes.
I didn't know that.
What's that?
Yeah, when they have freckles, it's all the souls they have taken from their enemies.
No way.
Yeah.
Read up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why if you see a
Never heard of
ginger
that.
person with
Never
lots of
heard of that.
freckles, they've taken a lot of souls.
Believe me, right? If you start looking into the Fae, what you will find is that fairies aren't the little Tinkerbells that everybody think they are. You've got all
And they're
these.
not the people that go cross-dressing and dancing on floats either.
No.
You can call them fairies, but
Yeah, with the little silver bike pants and stuff, sparkly silver. Bike.
I actually thought when you mentioned that there was this this famous video of a fairy, I thought you was gonna bring up
No, Fido.
Peter
Photo.
Pan.
No. There's this video that is
Christie's taking
that
thousands
was
of souls.
that was circulating back in the day. It was a father with the two girls, and they were like walking around, and I want to say like through like doing like a nature walk kind of thing, and then they noticed that there was like I want to say like a tree, and they went up to it because they were seeing like what they thought was an insect, and it was a fairy just flying around almost like but I you know what, if I come across that, I will definitely send it to you guys privately, but there is a clip like that circulating, and it was basically proof that fairies exist. We're talking about fairies, Tinkerbell looking kind of, people with wings, like
No. I'm seriously, look into the Fae lore, and you look at. There's not just fairies. There's a multitude of different species within the Fae, and you start reading up on that, and it's interesting. You've got those. God, now I've got to think back. Those ones that'll swap you, the changelings and stuff like that, where they'll swap your baby out for one of theirs.
Gypsies did that too.
I don't knock the gypsies. I've got gypsy blood in me. And all of those kind of things. In fact, we could do we should do an episode on all of that stuff, because we can bring up the Tokolosh again. I just like saying the Tokolosh. You got to say it with a South African, the Tokolosh.
You touched me a lot of the Tokolosh.
Yeah. Evil laughs persist. But
Fernando's not even going to try South African accent, are you?
believe me, I'd say Google it, but I don't know how you spell it. So
Tokolosh.
oh, there you go.
I don't even know how to start to pronounce.
Tokolosh.
Yeah, like, does it start with a T? And
Yes.
then I'll
Let's just say, right?
sometimes if you're lucky enough, that it'll do the O, that
It's a
autocorrect.
Tokolosh.
Let's just say the Tokolosh is only a little man, right? But he's got a big willy. So big, in fact, that he sneaks into houses in South Africa during the night and starts doinking with the females. And he does such a good job of it that they never want sex with their husbands ever again. I wonder who actually invented the Tokolosh when you put it like that. There you go. Fernando's Googling it now.
I think I freaking found it.
He's looking at Google Images.
James is talking
And-
about a film called The Watchers. I'll have to look into that because the watches that I know about are. I'm thinking of the Dark Watches.
Tokalash.
Yeah,
Tokalash.
Tokolosh.
Okolosh.
Okay. It's a dwarf-like water spirit. It is a mischievous and evil spirit that can become people to cause trouble for others.
Yeah, the husbands.
That's the mythology is.
It's awesome just to have to say the word Tokolosh. I'm getting the Tokolosh in as much as I can.
This is.
That sounds wrong.
I've never heard of it, and it's like a little. It's like a little person.
Yeah.
In South Africa, the Takalash is an example of a supernatural.
Does it talk about
Cultural-
his humongous appendage?
It says it terrorizes the victims during night while they are.
Yes. That's one word for it.
Hold on, man.
You're
I'm
gonna
click
fit.
on
You're
images,
gonna
let's
fit that
see.
in there.
No, I don't see no appendages. There's a movie.
There's a movie about the Tokolosh. Oh, I was saying it again, but I didn't use the accent that time.
Oh man, yeah.
Movie about Tokolosh, really?
See, I'm surprised they didn't bring that up in Destination Truth because they went so many of these weird creatures where they're going in the middle of nowhere and investigating, and I'm surprised they didn't do the Tokolosh.
Yeah, the Takalash. Takalash. There's even a part 2.
Have
So,
you
Fernando, where do you reckon you'd watch these movies of the Tokolosh?
alone and in the dark? What was that? Jeremy's playing with funny little buttons again.
Fernando got that one.
All right,
Oh my
all right.
God.
Tokolosh Part 2.
Let's
That's
switch it up from the
hilarious.
Tokolosh. Let's talk about the Dybbuk box. What do you reckon about the Dybbuk box? I actually think Christie's got a Dybbuk
We've
box.
spoken about this. We've spoken about this in past episodes as well.
Yeah, because it's so good. You got to keep bringing it up.
Yeah,
And there are movies about that as well. There's actually a
There
video
is,
on
but the
YouTube.
Dybbuk boxes are real.
There's a video on YouTube where a guy is actually opening. He's going to open it live.
Yes,
And-
I don't believe that.
No, I didn't either. But did you ever watch that show Evil on? I think it's on Stan. I think it's on one of the other streaming sites as well now. But they did
I
an
don't even ask them why it's
episode.
called Dybbuk box.
No. This wasn't specifically a Dybbuk box, but it went into. They had to go into a to investigate in a monastery where there was a vow of silence in there. So they had these little signboards that they had to write on, and they had a box in there that was sealed shut with wax and everything because it had a demon inside the box.
That's typical.
So it's very similar kind of thing to the. I mean, it was a much bigger box and it had the 2 doors that opened at the front rather than just the lift up thing. But all the individual bits of it are the same, and that's a really good episode. A really good episode. Oh no, Christie's disappointed me. It's the one thing she doesn't have.
You know,
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
it's a,
not. Go ahead.
the Dybbuk box is actually a antique wine cabinet.
I thought it was
That they still shut, so it's two that open up.
wasn't it? Wasn't a Dybbuk box originally a Jewish cigar
Yes.
holder?
No.
No, must be different versions of it.
Antique wine cabinet
Oh,
is
there
where
you
it
go.
started.
There you go.
So
Yeah, lots of wine cabinets, yeah.
I'm not gonna let slide that for somebody who doesn't like to use or say the word demon. Said it twice today.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
I know.
Jewish, so a Dybbuk in Jewish folklore is a disembodied human spirit that,
Yep.
because of former sins, wanders relentlessly until it finds a haven in the body of a living person.
Yep.
Belief in such spirits was prevalent in the 16th and 17th century in Eastern Europe. The word Dybbuk adaptation is an adaptation of the Hebrew root davek, which means to cling or to cleave. Dybbuk is considered to be a sticky, evil spirit, deceased, disembodied, malcontent who clings to a living person in order to find respite from its troubles.
Christy has a box full of haunted items. Christy, do you want to tell us about some of your haunted items, please?
She needs to be on the show one day, so she.
I'm sure we could get Christy on, even if it video or voice. I'm happy with either, but I'm sure we can get her on.
So, here with the Dybbuk box, the Dybbuk box appeared in 2003 when an antique store owner, Kevin Mannis, bought a vintage wine box from a 103-year-old Holocaust survivor on eBay.
Ooh, a Holocaust survivor.
After a
That'd be a bit
strange
of.
string of unexplained hauntings, the recurring nightmares, bruises, and smells of ammonia, the box found its way back on eBay and landed in the hands of a man named Jason Axton.
Oh, wow.
He
Actually,
felt the wrath of the box and ended up burying it somewhere in Missouri, but not before pulling it out of the ground to appear on the television show Ghost Adventures.
oh, that'd be about right. Christy, question for you. Have you started building, or has Mike started building your Halloween display yet? Because I remember going there a couple of years ago, and she does this full-on display where you have to walk through. It's like a little maze, and you walk through the garden and full-size figurines and the whole shebang, and some really,
All she
really,
has to do is
really
put some
creepy
out on
dolls.
display.
Some really creepy dolls there as well. So I want to know if you've started and how long until you're fully set up, because we might have to make a trip up for that one. I'll bring the camera as well. We can.
I would definitely love to see that.
Oh,
I'll bring Fernando.
we could actually, yeah, we can record a little bit while we're there and then put it on an episode. Well, we actually depends on. Here we go. She has a blood chalice that was apparently used in satanic rituals. Bracelet that was worn in a car accident where the lady died. I haven't got a keyboard to do the tweaky little. Yes. Anyway, we are going to have to work out what we're going to do for the Halloween special. So,
Yes. We could do a live pumpkin carving.
oh no. If
I
you
can use a chainsaw to carve mine.
no,
I'd watch that. The
I know
chainsaw
you-
cutting.
oh no, she hasn't started it yet. She's hoping Michael comes back so they can get it all going. He's going to be working his ass off. How long did it take, Christy? How long did it take to set up the last one? So remember, you spent a couple of days, at least 2 or 3 days, setting it all up. So it could have been longer than that. But yeah, it's really cool. But going back to it, the one thing I don't like about Halloween is all the bloody people that come around trick or treating, because I'd rather keep the bowl of candy to myself at the end of the night. All these little kids keep going around going, I'm cute, give me lollies.
Didn't you hear the husband stabbed a vampire in the head?
Yeah. Wife goes,
What?
and then he goes, I beat the shit out of a couple of zombies. What? Why are you saying what?
It's Halloween.
You're supposed to give them
the kids
candy. Yeah.
Oh man.
No, I saw that one. I think.
Stabbed a vampire, shot a werewolf.
No, that's funny.
Yeah, it's just creepy.
Oh, I tell you what,
I have a pair
Christy,
of baby shoes from the 1900s with a picture of the baby and a baby ring.
the baby's ring. Ooh. When we were doing the drive from Adelaide out to Broken Hill, we stopped at a little place called Borough, and in there, there's this antique shop. Now, I've never seen an antique shop like it, and we went in there, and the second you open the door, the energy just hit you, man. That place, there's something in there
Smell of
that
death.
haunted as absolute AF. And while we were in there looking around, I was like, I want that to take home. I want that to take home. A samurai helmet. I want that to take home. And
Did
certainly
you get
couldn't.
the samurai helmet?
No, I couldn't get any of it. Couldn't afford it. But what I was going at is when she was talking about the baby shoes, we saw a pair of shoes that were, you know what you picture like the Wicked Witch is wearing, those really pointy little, tiny little, like they pull the laces that tight that your feet are half the size they should be. There was some of them there. Lynn absolutely loved them, but she said, one, they won't fit. They won't fit, and two, you'd never wear them. So you were just buying shoes to put on display somewhere. But man, some of the stuff in that place, I reckon if we went in there and did an investigation, we would get all kinds of stuff going on there. 2 days to build it last time.
That was that sounds like going into one of those shops that has all these artifacts. That that sounds fun. Have you guys ever gone to investigated a museum?
Sort of. Not a full size museum, but there's
Actually, yeah, we have,
a
yeah.
military. Have we?
Albany. The museum in the jail.
Yes. Yeah, there was that.
Not that I
Oh,
was there for long.
There
Not
was
that
a-
I was there for long.
There was a no. There was a military one that I investigated, and that is on the list of things that we will have coming up soon. I will not release any details on that just yet, but I will let you know. But because I've been in there several times, and this is the one I was saying earlier where we can't take too many people with us, but that place is absolutely sensational. So that's coming up. No, not
I
Albany.
mean, I've got antique stores in my family.
We
I've asked and tried to get access, and it's just always been a no. Just for the sake of safety and items in that shop, because there is a lot of valuables.
I think if you're going as far as like a full mainstream type museum, the best one we got was the Fremantle Arts Centre, and this was when it was still a museum, opposed to now it's lots of stupid things that somebody calls art. But back then it was proper museum stuff, and up on the top floor they had the hall of, it was the war room where they had samurai swords and guns and all this kind of thing. That was my favourite room. But years later we were able to actually set out, we weren't allowed to investigate, but we were told we could go in at the end of business, and we had an hour to go in there by ourselves. We could set up all of our gear, and we had an hour to do a bit of a walk around and getting some baseline readings, which was brilliant. But we set all of the cameras up, left them recording, but we had to be there at 7 o'clock the next morning to pack them all up, and then it was a matter of reviewing all the evidence and stuff like that. And there's a staircase in there that's supposed to be haunted as, but we found that there's a cell there which was particularly of interest, because we actually got, I mean, I'm not talking A-level EVP. This sounded like a disembodied voice of a woman in a cell where we had K2, because we had a camera going, and we had a sound recorder in there as well, you know, a voice recorder going as well. And there was a K2 meter. The K2 meter flashed at the exact same time. We got a female's voice going, "Get out." And there was nobody else in the area at the time, because we'd already locked that room off and we'd moved on elsewhere. And it is as clear as that. Get out. None of this sort of, oh, that says this. No, it was get out. And it was a woman's voice, fairly gruff woman's voice, but it was definitely a woman's voice. That is a hell of a capture. And that was the last time anybody was allowed to set stuff up that we're aware of in there. Because it wasn't long after that they found all the extra baby fetuses and stuff up in one of the attics that had been locked off for years. Because that's got a hell of a history. But
Nice.
in fact, Fernando, if while you're doing your Google, type in the Fremantle Arts Centre and just look at that building. As soon as you see the Fremantle Arts Centre in Western Australia, you look at that building, you go, yes, I want to get in there. I guarantee it. You're going to love it.
He doesn't know how to spell Fremantle. He'll spell it with 2 E's, you watch.
the what?
The
How did you
Fremantle.
spell Fremantle?
Fremantle.
F-R-E.
F-R-E-E.
No, just one E. Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. Just one E.
1-E. Okay. hold on.
You'll see what I mean
Yeah,
as soon
mate.
as you see the picture. Fremantle Arts Centre.
Mokolosh.
No, I don't think the Tokolosh has been there yet.
Could be.
Man, he's taking his time Googling, eh? You would have been all
No, it's
over it
very
by now.
slow.
Fremantle Arts center.
Yeah. Then click on images.
It looks like a castle.
Yeah, that's the one.
That looks amazing. It looks like a religious castle.
I wouldn't go that far, but it is like a religion to us. Everybody in WA wants to get in there. Like I said, the closest we got was to set our gear up. And just around the corner from that is the Fremantle prison. So that's cool as well. Anyway, we're almost at 2 hours. I think it's time for us to bid everybody a farewell soon. So we should start our adieu. I think we had as much as 9 people in at one point. We're down to 5 at the moment.
So we've got 5 at the moment.
So we didn't do too bad for our first one back. Before we go, anybody in the chat, how often would you like to see these live streams again? Because we will start doing a few more of them, but we just want to know how often you want them, and then we'll work out our availability to do them. And do you like the 8 o'clock time slot opposed to the 9 o'clock time slot?
And also, what topic are we going to do for the Halloween special?
And yeah, what do you want us to talk about for Halloween? Otherwise, we're just going to have to think of something ourselves. We would much rather know what you guys want us to talk about.
Because when we think about something, we always veer off topic, something cruel.
Oh yeah, that's a guaranteed. That we always do that. So
That's the Shadow Files promise.
it's the Shadow Files guarantee.
It's the Shadow Files promise.
There was one that we did a while ago, Fernando and I, and we said, I think the topic was not talking on topic, because that way then we would always stay on topic. And I don't know, we still fortnightly. What do you guys think about fortnightly?
Monthly?
The negotiations has begun, Christy. I'll let you sort it out with Jeremy, because he's given that funny one eye thing going on.
No, I don't know. Every 3 weeks? Bi-weekly? 3 weeks?
Every third Tuesday.
Oh man.
No. Anyway, we are frittering away, so
Fernando's looking at naked people again.
I don't know.
Darn it! No, I was actually checking because for a second it didn't show that that we were live, so I clicked on it and then it just popped up.
No, we are still live. Although somebody's just left, so people are listening to us doing the dropout and they're starting to.
It's probably Fernando joining and leaving.
I've just realised I don't have an. Oh, do I have an exit screen? I don't know. Anyway, Christy said she will watch whatever we choose.
Yearly it is.
Yeah. Anyway, is everybody set and had a good night? And we will be back in probably 3 weeks live. That's not too bad, because it gives us a couple of weeks to record, and then
we've still got to yeah.
I mean, I think the Halloween special should be live.
Oh, there's a.
Then you don't have that.
Hang on, what day is Halloween?
Post. You don't have that post.
And don't say it's on the Friday the 13th.
That'd be amazing if it was.
Hang on.
That would be cool.
I have to work the cat. Oh, it's a Thursday. Halloween is a Thursday.
So does that mean next year it's a Friday?
I always get mixed up which way around it goes, but yeah, potentially. Anyway, are we all done?
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and it's time for us to go. And we didn't really have that much planned for tonight. We were just going to talk. We will have a bit more structure when we do our live streams moving forward, just like our shows. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody. And we will see you again next week. Well, you'll see us next week, you know, and then we'll see you in a couple of weeks. See ya.
See ya.